Oops. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I'm just preparing the stage for little jurisprudence. I'm gonna try to say Jurisboard. Anyway, Stream Beats. Courtesy of Stream Beats. Hi. That's the greeting I give to dogs. There you go. There. New story. Okay. Oh, no, I don't do, copy. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm just, lots of things are happening in my brain. That doesn't really. Okay, so let's. Okay, so take that out. Because we're not building on a. They'll all be different ones and whatever. Don't like how I organize these things, but you know. How long is this? Oh, okay, this is okay, I see. Okay, so let's take the most recent one. Oi, what are we all here? Oh yeah. Take this out too. Again, all the things I could do before the episode. Okay, for those of you who didn't see it this morning and won't see it today, here it is for your viewing months from now. What's the live rules? Fresh coffee 2.5. That's good for now.
Announcer, oi, what we got here? Audience.
Oh wait, hold on. Oh yeah, because I did it to the second iteration, didn't I? Chat. Tape before us, your Jerry. Oh, oops. Tape before us, your Jerry. There we go. Okay, there we go. I think that's it. I think that's it.
Announcer, oi, what we got here? Audience, Snolly's got your Raw-Dogged live interaction chat. Tape before us, your jury. Announcer, and who is this one? Audience, the accused, the one the law prevents us from pointing to. Announcer, yes, for only our leader has the aegis to point to the accused. Trevor Goodchild leaps from a hole on the stage and lands on his podium. Trevor Goodchild, pointing straight at you. Are you ready to play? Audience thunders in applause. Aeon Flux episode The Game Shorter Prison Pipeline. Trevor Goodchild, before I relay the rules of this summer enacting of the rule of law, a moment of silence for Snolly. And now the din of abyss to the terrorist cell that unalived him in bags, which had hung behind you in remembrance this whole season. And tonight for this season finale, our staff behind the scenes is cooking for you a most fitting meal that should hold you all over through the coming storm. The audience finds under their seats enough food to last the last of the winter. Hoots and cheers, and 5 minutes of eating with abandon. Then a siren to get back to their seats for the second act. Trevor Goodchild. And for what makes this game fun, our Mr. Rule of Law will tell us the guidelines for discerning guilt from innocence for today. Mr. Rule of Law, step right up here and recombinate from your data of previous decisions and informed by the numbers ascribed to the gusts of wind blown over our meteorological sensors. Give us your quantumly generated regulations for today's justice involvement. Mr. Rule of Law, today, methinks 3 distinct regulations to abide by. 1. Unmask your identity. This regulation comes in light of certain discoveries of devious imposters attempting to take place before a panel, or a gathering designed to make choices on guilt via innocence or other complex sociological or political matters. Thus, we shall ask a volunteer, one who is willing, will please hold out 2 of your digits for inspection from the accused, so that no duplicates be present. After all, we wouldn't want to let one go just on his say-so if he was actually someone with an identical twin lurking on a nearby spaceship, ready to steal that person's chance at freedom. We will take a short commercial. 32 seconds to be exact. You have plenty of options. Mr. Guilty and no guilty about. As a result of his declaration, 2 individuals from the jury, as it's supposed to have 12 permutation potential citizens at play here, are sent out to check their biometric fingerprints. These will show on their mobile screens whether there are no traces that might cause anyone to question their true identity, based on what has happened previously, like an imposter who claimed that they were John Doe number 615, only because one such entity with an indeterminate name came to speak before. Afterward, and upon the return, the individual who presented will proceed in giving up those 2 digits. Now, with their full attention trained only on themselves and away from the screen, we will ask that their left index and right wrist bones may both go numb, but not forever. A good indicator that this person's true physical signature matches that on our internal database's file donker. 2. Question everything. Here it is an extension upon our request of truth crying. Because, why just stand idly by? This world has made itself ripe for lies at an unprecedented level. Forgive me that outburst. Now that this person has come before his fellow audience, you have questions. Lots and lots of pesky, bothersome questions that cannot and may not be held at bay for much longer unless someone is able to distract you by offering a delicious plate of cheese. Yes, let the onslaught. But don't you guys worry now. There's time yet left for cheese. Just please hold yourself to be accountable to only 2 more of you. For in case we don't have enough time to get through everyone, and because of the increasing likelihood of some member who didn't want his questions being overheard if they indeed spoke through you somehow, there is another member ready to take over in their questioning. After the next commercial, which we just happened to cue, that's 62 seconds. It's so short. It's an embarrassment, really. Anyway, after they have answered your first two questions truthfully but not boringly enough to make us yawn, we shall then proceed. A quick warning. The answer given to the second question, the same answer to the first 2, it better still remain truthful. Then that questionnaire, as it could have also potentially been a group of a number of them gathered there, who then acted as representatives. 3. Keep them on a short string or else. It may have sounded harsh just then, but the world needs laws more like this than you'd ever thought it to. To keep it in perspective, of course. Because after all, we aren't talking about keeping someone under guard for forever. Or worse, for as many days before someone forgets what your words or face meant to the world around them just then. But to prevent them, and you, my faithful citizens, from going into their own pockets without a fair trade-off. The accused taps humbly from his finger's pad. What is my crime again? And with no further delay, he presents it before each of our members like you, with a series of small but unremarkable boxes. Yes, he opens a flap on those and shows it has coins, so much smaller in shape and diameter as your own, yet with a shine so deep within and of so many facets that it takes away a certain kind of breath that even this man must know how to keep in exchange for all the years yet unplanned before and you may choose. And with this transaction so carefully negotiated and agreed on ahead of time from this day and the last, let's hope forever on, shall come and go so soon that I could bring one and all such joys one never quite forget. No guilt or wronged, with none to speak back here again, as if the words we give today were less than those worth giving. The law in itself shall reign here, for you and I have yet to feel one pang of pity that will keep it down until a future beyond that. A sidebar montage explains the crime to the modern audience on the American TV. The crime is a heinous and dastardly one, that being terrorism and attempted destruction of innocent worlds. Not just the physical ones around where people reside, but ones we cannot even comprehend or reach with what we have as far as imagination goes. Now that this crime-bombed and plotting madman stands so smug, like he might have won in trying to disrupt anything of worth, like justice, this shall we all come before as part of shall prove just as a good lesson and an antidote against his actions. Terrorism of unborn worlds? That seems an awful accusation. You might know as many as several terrorists who would make claims or boast a name or affiliation as that man, only with some slight variances. To call upon that specific definition may be an unfair one, and perhaps should be kept a topic of debate, lest it be dismissed prematurely, because, as I have mentioned before, the law does need to stand as equal in value here, or we're just setting up more trouble, which, believe it or not, can sometimes come out ahead when the situation requires, without too much pushover. We don't even know these things.
No?
The court reveals the evidence only to the American audience. The American court is allowed to reveal more secret files on their network. They include the image of this man and many associates he might be related or otherwise known with over there in Slash or anywhere else that could affect him. One or two of them is caught on video committing a crime such as the type he is accused of. The others' roles remain more elusive to their audience for reasons known to keep their viewers in check. Terwofataf. It sounds a whole lot like speculation at most here, yet we must ask of you, since everyone present does, are there really enough layers of proof beyond reasonable or expected belief or assumption for something we can actually touch that is there to keep anyone or more bound or restrained of action such a thing for eternity to do or undo as they wish without a good defense from you? So now, let it fall upon his shoulders as if some giant force was standing on their behalf as the accused and the witness, which could easily speak up for you as to what truth and what untold story lies just between For there are still those words, and more coming soon to tell that side of things as it has yet to be said in full. If not today, then tomorrow for our continued series as well, or next time. Should we find it to be worth revisiting these important concepts, which no longer need a reason to exist when in the context, the one ear may indeed need to speak more for himself of all else he might bring. We all wait for further clarification from Mr. Goodchild as to how many days that shall truly represent without us forgetting anything that's important. Trevor Goodchild. What do I usually say, audience? Audience, what did Mr. Rule of Law say? Trevor, my hands are tied. What can I do? Audience, oh yeah, right. That was it now, wasn't it? Just as we thought of in the moment to say, now what did this man who calls himself accused? Not guilty by this time, yet but not guilty. Just yet for whatever that means and will never mean. No, no, no. But as you said earlier, before his questioning, what? Accused. Humbled but confident. Thank ye of asking. And I will say, nothing shall stand here to bind me from any movement except by the force. Let that remain forever on a written sign somewhere in plain sight where you all could see. The way nobody might go away without knowing as you now, and they will later on if asked, or otherwise let to see with one eye. For this man stands in defense against everything I can try, as he's a slippery, slinky sort that never knows where he should stop running off, lest the world be caught at a place to chase behind. As his next line is uttered on cue, he throws down an old card on the table between himself and judge of our time. Accused. And gentle correction, my name is Neville. I've never called myself the accused. Sounds a bit vague to me. Neville is fine by me. Neville Stiltsy is better. Not for reasons you wouldn't have guessed. Unless you've had the luck already at knowing some bits of information which might come into existence sometime after today's showing of these events before us here again. You're just like us, in some sense, at least for me to see so plainly as I gaze, which is a nice relief as to think so far with such assurance that someone is there on top of those files you've showed for all our eyes to believe. Not just blinds, but ones who can also speak for themselves. You're not doing this to any member present, yet somehow, all of you, as this one may find, may know something worth listening to when we've had no warning or anything but just words yet to fill the space between. I feel that strongly for every member who hears today, which I say is a miracle that anyone is alive still from yesterday with what could come and may just be waiting until now to happen upon the scene that we have before us. As you watch him, we continue to look with caution at how these rules of a good and right life are played out between us both. Trevor, give him 5 minutes, he might just bury himself for us. The after party will come sooner, if so. Win-win. The American audience cheers their consent. Joyce Westerkin, thank you. Please continue on and help the world with its new problems, like the crime bomber who might not ever end it, as I fear. If we just let you keep watching and talking, like those times when we would forget to shut up while we were in class. We don't care at all for how much worse it can still get. Just as long as nothing is done against my wording. It feels weird to try speaking after that thought, but then, that is something for my own peace of mind, though, if everyone were still paying any attention by my actions rather than saying something about that out there. Thank you. So, yes. Do tell more about this world. I have come here so unaware, yet so open and receptive like toward its people. Now, Mr. Law, may you return us to what justice stands in that context. And please be gentle enough to show your own version of such without making my word look too silly that no one will care. Let me add, oh, and for all who still doubt it so much, which would surprise even me for once today, which you can imagine by now how much that would mean. We'll do so by using your hands to pull our audience members out on stage. That would require a lot of physical contact, though. I don't understand how this makes any sense here. Martin Havermeer. I'm Martin from Lansing, which is here on the mitten here. Not in any order that I can follow, but just following through this. Would that count as justice in front of such numbers before my very self? If it were a group question or discussion for my benefit then. Mr. Accuser, please continue and let them be shown the truth. Audience, apprentice, judge, thank you. We would never take that lightly on anyone's own word when so much is at stake already here from that point of contact beyond anything you'd have seen me do on my time of speaking as a judge at trial. So now, if everyone can hear the same, it only matters if something is still done to help. That means showing me the way back to those times. Neville Stilstonese. So now, if you need a summary and review, this man just needs to stop it so that we might move along. But first, someone bring them on over me, please. They're here waiting. It's fine. No more waiting. Martin Westercanoidos. Mumble and unknowance. That does sound true of some kind. Not even like any type of logic here as one person speaking. I have a question too. I want to make an effort so that everyone sees as their part of my contribution in trying and doing good deeds without it being too much. Babby's rocks and Olenis takes her chance while she can. And me also. I too am trying to be nice here in the way this show plays out. Because that would prove something more important and maybe bring forth more understanding into how the mind behind it feels. Margaret Tandy, Mayor of Lansing. Hi. I would like to express gratitude for the continued sister city ship between Lansing and Good Child Meadows. I also have two more names of citizens that will speak on top of everything just for the fun of knowing. She starts speaking and it appears we do not have time. But we should keep on, my friends. Do share some words too while there's any room for it anymore. Just because someone said that, I would never guess how anyone can be sure until the other side has the option to add anything further without us being forced. I'll wait. No time, Dad. But anyway, just know I'm grateful you were able to give any space and time. We're all in luck together here to enjoy it all together. Whereas many may. It only takes once someone notices this before it might slip away like yesterday's dreams. And thank God for our dear Mr. Neville. So helpful with such knowledge already gathered and brought out with all we ever knew so far. What more? How lucky that they've done all the prep work. It feels like we missed just moments to catch up already, but still trying our damn hardest just the same as the people around. Trevor Goodchild, the latrine now awaits. Go and do washroom things, talk about justice, zip up, and come back. That might prove helpful in letting someone's brain get enough sleep to focus before it falls. No harm was meant in saying it, but it still feels a bit ridiculous when one starts listening closely. Wouldn't you think? You can go. You know now more as time goes on what we meant for someone else who wasn't even us and how to see justice being right for you or any others as we stand witness today against Neville's words. Thank you! By God! So don't waste it while waiting for the bathroom to start up again, as some people say, or just standing by and not getting involved anymore. No, I mean to go. Don't go. Or at least hold the urge for longer than a normal amount. while some things must inevitably slip further behind each second. Let everyone take your thoughts out for now and use some energy towards justice without wasting away in this never-ending debate which feels pointless to even care. It feels like a shame to think so little when you could easily bring someone or everyone closer than expected with what your presence brings before me. Just remember not to get in any trouble before it shows us more or less. Trevor Goodchild. The last act. Accused, you have 5 more minutes to tell the stories that justify your innocence. But wait till we get some time for justice. The crowd looks in surprise, for no more information is coming through the cracks, but only time itself. I will tell how it ended for those who might hear of this moment long past us now, if I do dare speak from this stage. As we have tried so hard since arriving on such thin ice in the making of this play, without even saying why there might never exist true guilt on any side. Only the need to keep moving in our quest. So without anything much better to show in the end, without all else that has fallen into its grave in such strange ways, no justice will exist. As this time continues to tick towards the conclusion of this act which holds so precautious to what we cannot reach with what limited would you might share now and later, my audience, the time limit will run out, and we'll soon face the harsh facts of it coming up fast, which might just be inevitable and more true than before. This could cause quite the dilemma to fix if nothing better shows by tomorrow than what's coming here. So far by someone with something to say but without any clue whether he may come closer in trying than the other way. If one had been willing as they say they still are but can still do only have to reach out or even know if their meaning matters beyond all else before it ends. No reason not yet revealed is more important. No action not taken can be seen as equal to it or more. I have no other thought to form before tomorrow arrives with us still standing, still with what little left to try without ever reaching a solution or the true truth. No, oh. Trevor. And then we will end with something unjust and cheap. This whole trial was a dream. All this time, an effort gone to waste just in the pursuit of an impulsive notion. It was good seeing how far your thoughts were willing to help. However useless it seemed as well when facing such odds alone against so much. I apologize for my blunt remark. You did have potential once before to rise beyond all this, but not like this. So in a sense we can move onward with little more loss. So here, my friend, come take this card. A discount towards anything we might ever want or think about ever needing from me as we sit before these people still with their opinions. Forming but without the will. But who knows? They might have some thoughts as well about justice. Who can say? But maybe. Who could have expected you and what happened today? A montage of commercials is broadcast on national TV screens. In these uncertain times of chaos and despair, we are coming to you live here from Good Channel Meadows with our exclusive news. For justice must always be sought. And now we are taking a page towards something bigger than before us to provide our audience of those watching with some comfort in having something solid and reassuringly present that they can lean. At least the dream trial resulted in precious data from the body politic about their true valuation of values. Precious data. As this network remains devoted, as ever, and ready when needed, be prepared for a time when justice calls on us. As we look beyond today with so little room left here between ourselves without knowing what comes next as the future may tell, we will need someone with a strong mind towards all others to bring hope back into it and save more along with those who seek refuge without knowing quite when. Without hope. And now, on behalf of our news channel, Thank God that all our words were meaningless after a dream of this justice and more. Next week we try battle juries. See you next game. This will not end well. Hash battle juju joke thing the magics hash can't believe you're this desperate. The credits roll. No, you didn't miss anything else except this advertisement in our next weeknight episode. Who do you serve? A battle jurism. Now it will be just the end we thought we'd never achieve with these dreams of our own and not anyone else's. Please remember that it still counts that you came here and witnessed. Though nothing else will exist without them coming first for what good and true. Reasons they may serve without a care in themselves, for now at least. Now here comes something even worse. To put things straight, what can be said for true judgment in this situation, if everything so far seemed unjust from what has shown without reason? And please tell, what could be gained for any who have not heard of a crime without proof yet against it? And still, nothing stands in their place. Mr. never looks down from his podium without emotion, to reveal that he is only Mr. Nasty's clone with no personality.
Kind of like that ending in Aeon Flux. It's like, oh, look at your clone, pressing the lever like you have autonomy. Okay. All right.